Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Troy Show. This is an episode I've been looking forward to for the longest time. If you have DVR, I encourage you to DVR this episode. Talk to your family about it because this will change lives. But every month we start with the inspirational story of the month. And this month we have a bonus. We have two inspirational stories. The first is about Kat McNamara and Kenton Duty, who starred in the movie Contest, which aired on the Cartoon Network. And it was all about anti-bullying. And the movie was a resounding hit. And so I want to thank them for being on the Troy Show on radio. And if you want, you can listen to that episode on thetroyshow.com. Also, Scott Gordon is alderman of the 11th District here in Kenosha, is hosting a youth awareness event November 16th here in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And I was asked to speak at the event in front of what they're thinking about 40 high school kids and giving them an inspirational talk. So I'm looking forward to that. That's November 16th. So if you're interested in participating, also go to thetroyshow.com for that. Bullying is a national epidemic, and so many times we hear about these horrible stories, and we don't think that they can happen in our neighborhood, in our community. Today we're going to talk to one of those students who, for the first time, is opening up about the stories and the drama that he goes through on a daily basis. Meet Lupe. Take a look at this. Meet Lupe, a 15-year-old high school student from Kenosha, Wisconsin. Since the 5th grade, yes, the 5th grade, he has been harassed and bullied nearly every day. Lupe has not only been harassed by students, but also their parents. At one point, he considered suicide and had conceived a plan and believed no one would care. Now, for the first time, Lupe is revealing his struggles publicly to serve as an inspiration to others. Please welcome Lupe to the Troy Show. It's an honor to have you here. Thanks for being here. Mm-hmm. Tell us and take us back to the 5th grade and what it was like for you every day having to go through that. I know a lot of people are shocked saying, oh, bullying doesn't happen in the 5th grade, but what happened to you during that time?
Well, in the beginning of the 5th grade, I started out as any other student, wasn't happy to go to school. I was kind of scared to go to school, but slowly started turning into like a nightmare for me because at that time I would wear shirts that weren't normal for regular boys to wear, or should I say jocks to wear at that time. I would wear more of light color shirts, pink, light blue, neon. At that time I represented myself a good way. In 5th grade, I wore a pink short, like pink stuff on, shorts, everything on, and
so you were made fun of for the clothes that you wore.
And it didn't really bother me at first because I thought it was just going to be a nitpick there, and then just stop.
Yeah.
But I slowly realized that it wasn't going to stop at 5th grade. I was getting called faggots. I was getting called queer. You're gay. You're nothing. And at the 5th grade, these boys did jump me, and at the time I didn't feel safe at that school. I went to principals and they wouldn't do nothing about it. One principal told me that, or actually told the regular principal that he didn't feel comfortable talking to me because I was gay. And I didn't really have no one to go to besides one teacher, and there's so much that a teacher can do until she can't do nothing no more, which was Miss George. And me and her had like a relationship from the start. Me and her had like days where we laughed, and I think after she realized that she couldn't do nothing for me no more, I think she stopped trying. So at that time, I didn't want to go to school in 5th grade. So I would constantly like tell my mom I don't want to go to school. Please don't make me go to school. I'll do anything. I'll clean around the house. Just don't send me to school. She did let me stay out for a few weeks. And in 5th grade, at the end of the year, it was to the point where I was getting myself worked up about it. I was thinking about what would next year be like. How will it go for me? Will it change? Will I make new friends? the friends I did have in 5th grade, they kind of backstabbed me. I thought they were gonna be
So
there.
throughout all of this, there were a few people that stood up at first, but then they
Completely stopped. Like
they stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah. And throughout this whole year, I mean, this happened in a period of what, 9 months, really? Yeah. Did it get worse in high school as you went on in high school?
In high school, yes, it did get worse. In 6th grade, the same boys that were making fun of me, some of them did go to the next year the school.
Yeah.
And it was like the same thing. They said, oh, the faggot goes here, oh, the queer goes here. Well, he's nothing important. And the first day, I wasn't looking forward for it because I knew I was gonna go to the same school with the same boys.
So you were almost throughout the whole summer building anticipation, knowing that you're going to run into them.
Yeah.
Again.
And at that time, I started shutting down at activities. I started slowly pulling away from family because I didn't know how to approach them that I was different. At the time, I did go out to my mother, and my mother did support me 100%. At that time, I did not tell my father because his side was more of a strict Catholic side.
Yeah.
And after I was done talking to my mother saying, well, I'm different from everybody, I like boys, she said, well, you don't have to worry about that now, just get through school, don't worry about it. At that time, I went back to school not worrying about it.
So did that help you? Obviously it did, having your mom be a major support for you.
And my comfort zone is family. It's just, to me, family supports me.
Yeah.
Though some family don't think that it supports me, but I notice myself being very calm with family. And when I'm not with family, I'm more of a talkative mode. Like, I need to talk to get that anxiety out. In school too, the teachers notice that I talk. And it's nothing I can help with. I can just sit there and be quiet, but then again, I'm scared.
What was the worst thing that someone said to you? Something that like really, really hurt you?
The meanest thing they said to me, or really put me down, was that you should just go commit suicide. Nobody would care. And at that time, I did go to my mom and tell her I did want to hurt myself. I had a plan set up, waiting for her just to leave, and then I'll just hang myself. And at that time, I was admitted to St. Luke's and to get help. But also in that time, I did lose a very close family member, which was like my dad, because my dad was always at work. I didn't have a father relationship with my dad. So my uncle was the one to always have that dad relationship. We would go outside and play, but he eventually passed away. So I had no one to go to.
And what grade was this?
This was in 6th grade.
Oh, wow. So you had just come off 5th grade, hoping that 6th grade would be better, and it wasn't, and then you lose. Yeah. It was tough. You said that you would literally get a fever, and you would get sick thinking about it, going to school on Sunday nights.
At that time, I was constantly thinking about it. I stayed up 24/7 thinking on Sundays, I don't want to go. What will happen to me? Will there be anyone to support me? Will there be a day when someone just stick up for me? At that time, I did vomit because I was thinking about it so much. The times I did, my back was sore because I was too busy tossing and turning trying to go to sleep from this. I was having headaches because I didn't go to sleep. I was tired. I was to the point where I had to have meds to go to sleep because I couldn't go to sleep without them. And I wouldn't say necessary this day because I love my school now. I still kind of think about the past, but it's not as bad as it was when I was going through it.
Yeah. Did anyone try to help you? Teacher, you said that some teachers blatantly refused, which is unbelievable.
Principals so far have shown me no help at all, and I was kind of mad about that.
And this is in KUSD.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was mad because they would refuse to help. It was kind of like a slap on the wrist that they get in trouble with.
The bullies.
The bullies. And every time I try to stick up for myself, it was always, you're getting suspended, you're in ISS. And I was dumbfounded because I was sticking up for myself. And I was to the point, well, if nobody's going to help me, why should I just sit there and look like a lost kid making fun of.
Do you still worry about not having any friends or enough friends?
I worry about it, but not as much. I do have a couple friends now, which themselves have been through the same situation, but in a different, similar way. So we all just sit in a group and we giggle. It may not be a lot of friends, but it's at least 3 or 4 of them, which is a huge difference for me.
Yeah. And I can tell you this, I have throughout my, going through high school, and I was bullied too, I have like 1 or 2 really good friends, one of which I get to work with here on the Troy Show. So I think having 1 or 2 good friends is better than having a multitude of people you really don't care about, really. But we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back on the Troy Show.
As a parent, I know one of the most important times to be with your children is when they aren't feeling well. For many families, there's a place they can go to find the support they need.
Ronald McDonald House Charities programs provide that supportive environment so families can be together while their children are dealing with serious illnesses.
You can volunteer your time at a local Ronald McDonald House or drop your change in an RMHC canister.
Today is a great day for all of us to show our support.
To find out how you can get involved in your community, visit rmhc.org.
Birthday. My mom, the one not wearing a seatbelt, is taking me to get my party balloons. Oh look, a police car. I wonder what might happen.
Too bad it's not my birthday. I wish I would remember to put on my seatbelt.
Join Step Out Walk to Fight Diabetes this fall and raise money to fight diabetes. Together we can stop diabetes, one step at a time. Take your first step and register today at 1-888-DIABETES or visit diabetes.org/stepout.
We are back on the Troy Show with Lupe, who's 15 and who has been bullied almost every day of his life in school since the 5th grade. How do you feel about yourself?
There's some days where I find myself in a denial mode that maybe I should have changed the ways. Maybe I should have just stayed the same when I was a kid. But then again, there's times where I think, well, why should I? I should be who I am and who I want to be. And as long as I care about that, I don't think a family member or a friend or even bully should change that way about me. But I do feel kind of satisfied with myself. I do feel like I made a big change in myself of what I've been through, which made me a bigger and stronger character in myself than anybody.
So I want to touch on the suicidal thoughts, and you know that is a problem within the city, that kids feel lost and they don't know what to do. Take us back to the thought process you were going through and what you were thinking as you were going through this and the plan that you had.
At the time, I was more of, I wanted just to be dead, and it was more as I was praying to be dead, and the more I thought of it, the more I actually wanted just to be dead. And the plan was for me and my mom. I told my mom is that I was going to wait till everyone be gone, because at the time I was responsible to be by myself in the own house. That I was going to wait for her to leave and to me just hang myself. And at the time, I really wanted to die, but then again, there was a purpose to be here. Like, if I would have did it, it would have took a huge toll on my family, because before all this happened, our family was like more of a goofy type one, and since everything we've been going through, I think I was the one changing it, of staying in the room, because I didn't want nothing to do with the family because of this. Yeah. And the more I thought about it, I think the more my mother had paid attention, like, where is he? What is he gonna do? I can't leave him alone for like 5 minutes without trusting him. And there was times where I sit up all night thinking about it.
All right, we're gonna take another commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna talk to Mary, Lupe's mother, about the situation and how she's tried to deal with the school administration. We'll be right back.
Join Step Out, Walk to Fight Diabetes this fall. Together we can stop diabetes one step at a time. Visit diabetes.org/stepout today.
It's my birthday. My mom, the one not wearing a seatbelt, is taking me to the store to get balloons. Oh look, a police car. I wonder what might happen.
Too bad it's not my birthday. I wish I would remember to put on my seatbelt.
I wish my mom would put a seatbelt on.
Wow, what an emotional episode today. And now we're going to feature Lupe's mother, who has really helped Lupe along the way. Mary is going to share her battles with the school administration and how there's been little success. Take a look at this. Lupe's mother, Mary, has played a crucial role in helping her son during this difficult time. She says the torment not only affects her, but her entire family. Mary says that the school administration has refused to hear her pleas to help her son. Some teachers have blamed Lupe for the problems he faces. Some faculty have refused to help him altogether. Mary's only wish for Lupe is simply to be happy. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So when Lupe told you about what was going on, how did you react at first?
At first, I was telling him to suck it up, ignore them, walk away. I tried the whole going to the principal in 5th grade. Their words to me were, "I'll investigate and I'll get back to you." So I gave them their time, let them do what they had to do, and some way it always came back to being my son's problem. He was at fault. When Lupe at that time told the vice principal, "I like boys," the vice principal in turn went to the principal and said he will no longer deal with Lupe because he doesn't feel comfortable. This was told to me. They had my son walking down a specific sidewalk to get to my car. That way the boys would not attack him.
You're kidding.
No, they had him walking down a specific way until my oldest daughter went in there and told him, "My brother's not walking down one path. He's a student here like the other boys." And my daughter at that time did get fed up, and she told the boys, "If you so much lay a hand on my brother, I will be back here." They laid off of him for the rest of the school year. But like Lupe said, any excuse not to go, sick, stomach, back, anything.
And did the bullying continue? Because in this new generation, you know, there's social media, there's Facebook and Twitter. Did it continue on those platforms?
It got to Facebook, Mark, in 6th grade. Lupe trusts people really quick. At least he did. And he thought he had these couple of friends that were his friends.
Yeah.
And he felt comfortable telling them, well, I like boys. And that was it. He was called faggot, queer. He had one kid tell him, and excuse my language, you know you love to suck. Lupe went to the principal. Mrs. Becker did put a stop to that. She actually did call the school police from Ruther.
And Miss Becker was one of the teachers?
No, she was the principal at Pidale.
Oh, okay.
Which I sent them to the charter school because it was a smaller community. I figured he'd be a little safer there. And that was his worst time there.
Wow.
The worst. From there, he had one boy's female cousin ask Lupe out. Lupe said, yeah, because he was trying to take back telling his friends he was gay. He was trying to cover it up. The little girl went on there on Facebook and was telling, Lupe was like, why are you mad at me? Oh, you can go ahead and cry. You're probably better off killing yourself. No one's going to care. I went back to Mrs. Becker and said, look, this girl is telling my son to kill himself. Lupe was finding any reason to stay home. And I was like this at that time. No, you're going. You have to ignore them. Just walk past them. Don't say nothing to them. Suck it up.
Yeah. And I think a lot of parents start off that way because they want their kids to go to school and they believe that, maybe this is just a phase, it will work out somehow.
Yeah, that's how I was. I figured it would just work itself out. He'll, bring himself to a good reputation with these kids. And it didn't. 7th grade, it got worse. His worst year was Harborside.
Wow.
That principal just really pushed me.
Why?
Lupe finally got tired. He sat at what they called the loser's table, which was himself and maybe 3 other kids. And the one boy that has bullied him from 5th grade on was picking on a girl that sat at the table. And Lupe finally had it. And Lupe texted him and said, who are you to judge anybody? You're no better than us. This boy came back with, you punk bitch, you're a fag, I'll kick your ass. I took my son's phone up to the principal. And he pretty much just brushed me away.
And you said that there have been some administrators who have refused to deal with him because he acts a certain way.
Oh, Lupe
has that been consistent throughout?
Mrs. Becker has been one of the ones that have helped, has tried to. She at least took the extra step to call the school police over. But there was never no suspensions, no ISS, nothing like that to these kids. His last year in junior high, no help at all. No help. And I told him, look, he's been a victim of this for this many years. He's had a plan to kill himself. And Mr. Haithcock pretty much told me, well, I will investigate. And in the end, he blamed it on my son. Well, if your son didn't stand up for this girl, then none of this would have happened. Okay, but you're the one who tells these other kids, if you see someone getting bullied, try to step in and say something.
Yeah.
I mean, I was so heated. He made me feel like if my son committed suicide, oh, well, I did. I threatened the school. I said, if my son hurts himself, I'm coming back here.
Mary says she hasn't had a lot of communication with Michelle Hancock and the administration. Why do you think that is?
To me, the way I'm taking it with Harborside is Mr. Haithcock does not want anyone to know about the problems that goes in his school. It's all about his image.
Yeah.
I know before in elementary with him, I was able to talk to the superintendent. I didn't have to go through these different channels. Now it's you talk to the teacher. Then from there you talk to the principal. If the principal doesn't help you, you talk to Mr. Tenuta is the one I had to talk to. And then if they could not resolve it, then I might get the chance to talk to Mrs. Hancock. even Tanuta didn't help me until I took him to ER to be, I was actually going to have him admitted again because he said, Mom, I just want to go. I don't want to be here. A social worker sent me to the LGBT clinic in Racine. There I talked with Jolie McKenna, and she saved my life with my son. She helped me file a discrimination complaint.
I'm sure they perked up real quick after that one.
When I told Tanuta that I filed it and it's going to Wisconsin State Board, he called me in real quick with my son. Well, what can we do, Lupe? Is there anything we could do? Everything they did, my son was still pushed out. Well, we'll change your son's classes. Not I'll suspend the kid or, tickets or fines, nothing like that. Nothing.
So what do you hope that if a bully is watching today, other parents who are going through this, what do you hope the message of this program is and the message of your story and Lupe's story?
My message to the parents is they need to get in there into the school. I feel that they need to keep pushing it because I walked away so many times because I kept going, getting sent in a circle. I didn't know which way to go. But there are people out there that are willing to help them. As far as like the young kids who are bullied, they need to start speaking up. I think if my son kept his mouth closed any longer, I don't think he would be here. I'm glad now that he came out and said, this is who I am, love me or not, I would hope these parents take it serious when they see that their kids they're being tortured. This is torture for me watching my son go through that stuff. It hurt me. So, to the parents, I would just hope that they would get out there. There's people out there that will help you. Even if your principal's not helping you, there's always someone else there who's willing to help.
I cannot thank you enough for being here. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Lupe, for being here and being so brave and sharing your story. I appreciate it. For more information on The Troy Show, I encourage you to go to www.thetroyshow.com. And to get more information about anti-bullying techniques, I encourage you to look at an organization called Peace Learning Circles. They deal with 4th and 5th graders and try to go into the classrooms and try to prevent this at an early age. So visit the Peace Learning Circles. Type it in on Google. You'll find it. Thank you so much for being here today. Until next time. Bye, everybody.